Yo, what up, YouTube? Shotgun Shogun. Hit record here. I hate limited units, and I'm going to explain to you why I hate limited units and why I think limited units are terrible for every gacha game, and why I hate them in Epic 7. And some people will disagree with me. I see too many people constantly that are like, bro, new limited when? Bro, when are we going to get a new limited? Bro, when are we going to get a limited? Yo, can we get a limited unit, bro? Hey, can we get a limited? Do we get a collab? When are we going to get them limited units at, man? I cannot wait until the new limited unit. Bro, I am so fucking excited. You have no idea. I've been saving for this new limited unit. Now, why do I hate limited unit? It's limited. Do I also hate the Shamrock Shake from McDonald's? Yes, I do. You want to know why? Because maybe I want a Shamrock Shake in November. Can I get a Shamrock Shake in November? No, I can't. When I go to Taco Bell, can I get the naked chicken chalupa anytime I want? No, I absolutely can't. You know what? Sometimes I want a naked chicken chalupa. Sometimes I want a Shamrock Shake. I can't get those. You want to know why? Because they're limited. I hate limited units in a game. You want to know why? Because if you start, let's take a Fate Grand Order, for example. Most of the units are limited in Fate Grand Order. If you start the game after a limited unit has come out, you don't know if you're ever going to get that unit again. Granted, Epic 7 reruns Guilty Gear constantly, non-stop. We get Guilty Gear all the time. All the time. However, most games don't rerun collabs. If you start a game after said limited collab unit has come out, guess what you will never potentially get? That collab unit. And if you are a collector and you didn't start on day one, sucks to suck. Now, in Epic 7, one of the reasons why I do not like limited units. If you come in after a limited unit banner, let's say you start, or let's say, you know, life happens and you weren't around to get Seaside Bologna, you are now at a disgustingly huge disadvantage from everybody else in the game. You could theoretically spend infinite amounts of money on the Covenant summons, and guess what? You're not going to get Seaside Bologna. This is a problem because in a game where you have to PvP against other people, you don't have to, but it is a core function of the game. Limited units pose a huge potential threat in that if you don't have the limited unit, you might not be able to compete with the meta. Let's take, hold on, this piece of actual garbage. For example, if you do not have Rimuru, you're going to have a bad time. Just is what it is. If you started after the Slime collab, you do not have the option to get Rimuru, no matter how much money you spend. Now, you could theoretically buy an account, not that we condone that here on the Shotgun Shogun channel, but if you did not do the Zero collab, if you did not do the Slime collab, you are in a very, 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 very terrible position for RTA. For PvP in general, because most of these are meta in Guild Wars as well. So why do I hate limited units? Because you cannot acquire this unit at any given time, no matter how much money you spend. The other problem is that limited units are very FOMO. Fear of missing out. Whether the unit is good or not, people will spend all of their money day one because, well, I don't know. It might be good. It might not be good. I don't have the gear for it right now, but I have to spend this money because if I don't, and then I don't have said unit, I don't know when it's going to come back. Now, Epic 7 has rerun collabs. They have reran the seasonal limiteds. Personally, I think for seasonals, it should just be skins. That's just my opinion. I think that they don't need to make a whole new ass character. Just make a skin. Why do we not get more skins? You can make normal characters. Here's a summer skin. That's what gacha is, though. I mean, I understand that a lot of fear of missing out is gacha in general, but I think that if after a certain point the limiteds just go into the general pool, here's the argument that I've heard from people that's like, oh, after a certain point, if they just put them in the general pool, then people who spent all of their money pulling on the banner will be mad. Why? You got 2 years worth of, let's say you put it into the general pool after 2 years. The person who pulled on the banner got 2 years worth of being able to play with that character. And now, just because somebody else can get it from a general pool, I'm not talking like a banner, nothing like that. I'm talking about, oh, you might potentially get, spooked on a 10 pull with a limited unit. How is that bad? That is the whole, well, I have it and I don't want anybody else to be able to get it type of mentality. And I think that is a terrible mentality. And it also leads to the whole FOMO, right? Because again, we don't know if and when that unit's ever going to come back. Here's the other problem with limited units, because all of that is not just the only problem that I have with limited units. If a limited unit is not on paper overpowered and in action overpowered, immediately people are going to complain. Why roll on if H. Ufine came back, if Holiday Ufine came back, how many people are going to be like, yo, this unit's garbage, don't roll? Pretty much everybody. If you think that H. Ufine is a bad spot, let me know in the comment section how bad you think she is and how she needs to be buffed. But here's the problem, is a limited unit that only comes around every so often has to be at a certain level of power for the community and players to be like, yo, I gotta get that. I've got to roll on that. Because with like collab characters like Rimuru, Rem, Amelia, Milam, we don't know when they're going to be coming back. So most people are going to be like, I have to roll on this. Because even if nothing else, it might get the Landy treatment. Remember when Landy came out? For those of you who've been around for a little while, remember when Landy came out and she was good. She wasn't amazing. She was good. So many people complained about how underpowered and useless she was that they buffed her to godlike levels that they didn't need to. That's a whole other conversation about their balance team. And then reran the banner later so that everybody could get it. Because here's the problem too, is that if they buff a unit that's limited, they have to rerun said limited unit. Because if they buff that unit, then people are going to complain if a limited unit is not then later available, because they'll be like, well, I didn't roll for it because it was bad, and it's overpowered, and now I can't keep up with anybody. And this is one of the problems with limited units, right? Is that because of that, people will tell you if it's a limited unit, you pull it regardless. Because if it's bad, they'll buff it to Landy levels. If it's overpowered, you have to have it, or else you're going to just not be good in RT and PV. Limited units are pretty much always a must pull, because, they, again, yeah, like Valera says here, it might not get a rerun. We are never guaranteed a slime rerun. We're never guaranteed a ReZero rerun. And these units are so good. They're so good that they are meta changing. And I feel like a limited unit should never be meta changing, Because if you are not one of the people that was lucky enough to get that unit when it was available, you are now just in a really, really bad spot. And I think that that is one of the reasons why limiteds suck. I mean, there's a lot of limiteds, a lot of reasons why I hate limited. Now, here's one of the things that I want to point out too. They did announce the selection banner, right? Now, we don't know if in the future, because they did mention limited, but I don't know if they mentioned the fact that collab characters could be on it or not. If they're like, okay, we're going to run these selective, like, triple banners, if they can have collabs on them in the future, the collab characters, if somehow Smilegate, like, earned the rights to be like, yeah, we won't rerun the event, but the character itself can be pulled on these banners in the future, I think that will be perfectly fine. Collabs won't be part of limited selector as per Mashu. Never mind. Okay, well, that just answers that. And I'm sure somebody probably paused the video before we got to that point. And they're like, Shogun, you're so stupid, dude. Collabs aren't going to be part of that. Did you even read? First off, I'd like to point out that when I watched this live stream, it was like 6 in the morning, and nobody should have to be awake at 6 in the morning. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't think 6 in the morning should exist. I think that the day should start at like 9, give or take. I think that that's probably a good starting time for the day. 6 in the morning. Who's even competent at 6 in the morning? Definitely not me. But yeah, somebody's going to tell me that in the comment section. I guarantee 100%. Regardless, limited units suck. Because if we can't get them on those banners, they don't ever rerun. How long are you going to wait? How long are you going to wait on Rimuru to get power creep? Sure, did Hua Young give Rimuru a hard time? Yeah, absolutely. Hua Young one-shots Rimuru. But do we really want to have collab characters, limited collab characters, power creep? Because that's just going to power creep more stuff. That's a lot of my problems with. Not only that, but again, like, if you're a collector, honestly, you know what? If you are a collector, I feel like everything, including limiteds, should eventually go into the general pool. If you want to spend $250,000 rolling Covenant summons to get a limited character, do it. Do it. It's great. Anybody who would complain about limiteds going into the general pool are the same type of people that think that the quality of life should only be available to people who have played the game for 2 years. Like, they're the same kind of people that argue there's like, well, back in my day, we didn't have this, so it's not fair that they can get Luna. They could get Luna in the Covenant summon. But 3 years ago, I rolled Triple S. Bro, I was big mad when they put Draco Plate on Luna banner because I rolled Triple S Luna the first year. And then I had to roll for Draco Plate. I was pretty mad, but you know what? At the same time, I was like, hey, man, you know what? New people, they can get this. I literally don't care. I think after a certain amount of time, limited units should just go into the general pool. Who rolls Covenants anyways? A lot of people. I do. Sometimes after, you know, a night of partaking in some libations, your boy just goes and rolls like 900 900 bookmarks, 900 St. Court's worth of Covenant summons. Mixing my games up. Sometimes I did that, you know. I'm a little tipsy. Maybe I did put in 900 St. Courts into Epic 7. Who knows? You don't know my life. Regardless, limited units suck. That's the end of the video.